Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 6 between DIMAGA and KiWiKaKi. KiWiKaKi is playing as the blue Protoss in the lower left-hand corner, and DIMAGA is playing as the red Zerg in the upper right-hand corner. The map is Steppes of War. There are 2 Xel'Naga watchtowers. That's right, one over here, not very useful, one over here, not very useful either, because most of the battles will take place in the middle of the map, or most troop movements will take place in the middle of the map, and neither of those control watchtowers will give you vision of the middle of the map, and so it's quite important to get some sort of other thingy into the middle of the map. That is too many middles of the map, and I am gonna stop saying that. In any event, one thing I would like to do in my videos is pose a question to my viewers, and this time I'm gonna ask you guys, what do you guys want from me? I've been thinking about putting together a bunch of bloopers, as I do have quite a number of them, because I do take a lot of takes on these videos. I'm not sure if you guys will want to see that, but if you want to see it, let me know. If you don't want to see it, let me know also, because I would like to put the focus on StarCraft 2, not as much as on me. But if you want to see something like that, and if you will be interested, let me know. And we do see the spawning pool going down at 14, as well as the extractor going at 13, as the Zergs do subtract units when they put down the production facilities. One thing I can't do for you guys, I cannot buy you alcohol if you're underage, and I can't provide you drugs, so please be reasonable with your requests. And this probe is still inside the base of the Zerg player of DIMAGA, and he's able to see that the pool as well as the extractor has gone down, but DIMAGA has not yet scouted the base of KiWiKaKi, and he does not yet know that a dual gateway push, probably with Zealots, will be coming up very, very shortly. I know it's called Zealots, but that's alright, because my accent is funny, and some people like funny, some people don't like funny. In any event, spawning pool is about to finish, and the dual gateway's about to finish as well, and we do see a Paladin in the back, probably going to put some tech or additional gateways there. Depends on his choice, and we do see 2 Zerglings are gonna pop out any moment to destroy that little probe that has been getting all the scouting information for KiWiKaKi. And the probe is still inside, and the 2 Zerglings have spawned, and now the probe is actually gonna be running for his life, or maybe not so much. And we do see the probe's HP is falling down a little bit as the drone and Zergling are moving out. The drone may be thinking of putting down a hatchery, as it is very, very common for the Zerg to expand and grab a secondary base, because it also helps. Ooh, he does take down that one probe, but this one Zealot is running across the map. I'm not sure if he wants to run across the map, because there are 6 Zerglings. They can't get us around, and he does kill off 1 Zergling, and he's gonna go down to 50 minerals worth of Zerglings, whereas he costs 100 mineral himself. Not a very good trade there. And we do see metabolic boost currently being researched by the Zerg player. And as I was driving to a place to get food today, I noticed a blimp in the sky, and it was over the US Open, currently being held in Flushing, New York. And it's kind of weird, because who would want to be the blimp driver? You get to stay in the air for 8 hours. What can you possibly do for 8 hours in the air? I mean, if you have to go to the bathroom, there's going to be poop falling from the skies, or maybe not poop falling from the skies. In any event, the Zealots are running across the map. They're probably going to engage a good number of Zerglings. I think that might not be a very good engagement for the Zealots. Really depends on the micro. And we do see the Zealots coming across. I think the Overlord has spotted that the Zealots are not in the base, so he will be expecting this, and he does position the Zerglings on the ramp. And now we might see an engagement. The Zerglings trying to get around on the Zealots, and the Zealots are fighting the Zerglings, and 2 Zerglings fall, and I think 2 Zealots fell as well. Not a very good trade there. Additional Zealot reinforcements. The Zealots are trying to back away, but they can't, because there are simply too many Zerglings, and they get the surround on the Zealots, and the Zealots do go down. Now this Zealot is running back, and he needs to chrono boost out some units to help defend the incoming Zerglings. And we do see lair tech being researched by the Zerg player, and that Stalker coming out at a pivotal point does manage to deter those Zerglings from rushing up the ramp and destroying this one Zealot. We do see a forge is currently being warped in, and if we take a look at the income tab, both players are about the same at the moment. The Protoss player, KiWiKaKi, slightly ahead, but I think that's going to change very shortly, as DIMAGA has gotten his hatchery outside his base, and KiWiKaKi, probably knowing this, is going to try to expand himself as well, and he does put down a pylon, maybe putting down a cannon near the base. And we do see a Roach Warrant going down for DIMAGA, and he's going to be pumping some drones to get a saturation. And this one Zelling, I was going to call him a Zelling, one Zergling was able to get in and get the information that he is expanding, and the Zerglings might be thinking about taking out this one probe and this one pylon, as he has not yet warped in a cannon. And just as I said that, he's actually warping in a cannon right now, and he's also getting the research for +1 weapons, which will make the Zerglings die to 2 attacks instead of 3 attacks. And now it's coming in, and he does force KiWiKaKi to cancel that cannon, and the probe does go down as well. And now there's only one pylon outside, not very useful. And we do see glial reconstitution for the roaches currently being researched, and we do see the injection and the spewing of additional eggs for the Zerg player DIMAGA. And now coming again, once again taking out the probes. There's only 2 stalkers, not very good against that many number of Zerglings, as the Zerglings can easily get us around on the ramp, off the ramp. That's why the Zealots are staying with the Stalkers to try to prevent that surround. I think if we take a look at the income tab now, the Zerg player will be slightly ahead, about 50% more intake for the minerals, and he's actually backing up a little bit as he does not want to engage that group of Zealots with Stalkers. Sensing raging a little bit there. I think he was actually hitting the little animal that was located in that place because he could not kill any Zerglings. And we do see a pylon being put down over here. Very good positioning for the pylon, as that will allow you to warp in troops behind the enemy lines, or maybe prevent a surround or get a surround on your enemy if you wish. And we do see the evolution chamber has just finished for the Zerg player DIMAGA, and now I think he's thinking about attacking, or maybe he's just making sure that the Protoss player KiWiKaKi does not expand himself, and he is actually working on the rocks for his third base. And the expansion, 2 force fields go off, very good force fields. That is exactly the place you want to put your force fields, because that will be able to cut your enemy's forces into a fraction of their hull, and that will allow you to take them out much easier, or you will be able to force your enemies to engage when they do not want to. We do see Zerg missile attacks along with tunneling calls being researched by DIMAGA at the moment, as we do have an observer with this bunch of units. No, not an observer, that was actually an unfinished creep tumor. And now we do see a nice engagement between these Zealots and Roaches, as well as the Stalkers getting into it. And in the back, neither of these sentries have enough for a guardian shell, that's why none went up. And he will lose these Zealots as they're relatively slow to the Roaches, and the Roaches are chasing them across the map. And I think if he can get a couple of force fields over here and he cut the force, he might be able to do some good damage to DIMAGA. And 2 force fields do go off, and he's actually not able to. He only took off 1 Roach because I think he misclicked a little bit. He moved them backwards instead of forwards, and I think he could have gotten a couple of more kills on those Roaches, as a couple of them are quite low on HP. 3 Roaches maybe just rallied over here. Yeah, there's a rally point set over there. 3 Roaches now patrolling and going back into their base, realizing that they're not where they want to be. And we do see Burrow coming up for DIMAGA, as +1 weapons has finished for KiWiKaKi. Now KiWiKaKi is getting a robotics facility, and DIMAGA is almost done researching his Zerg missiles, and he's going to get a Hydralisk done. To get some Hydralisk to back up his Roach is always a good idea. And this, I was just about to say no drones are on that gas, but there are some drones that just recently got on that gas. 1 Zergling hiding in the bushes to let DIMAGA know when KiWiKaKi is going to move out, and an Overlord watching the destructible rocks on the side, knowing exactly when his opponent's going to move out. And we do see ground armor level 1 being researched by the Protoss player KiWiKaKi, as well as additional pylons being placed down in the back. And I think right now he has only 4 gateways. I think he really needs more gateways if he wants to maintain the edge, or maybe just to even the game. And we do see Grooves mines being upgraded, as well as additional hatchery going up on the side. And right now, I think somehow KiWiKaKi might have heard me through time and space, and he's going to grab his own expansion as well, because he really wants to remain on the same number of bases as the Zerg player. He actually does not have vision of that yet, so it's a really good guess and good timing on his part. And some Hydralisks are being spawned at the moment for DIMAGA, and DIMAGA has most of his forces in the middle, and we might see an engagement here, or maybe not. Both players pretty much just taking their choke points at the moment, ensuring that their enemy is not wrapping around. Notice in this game nobody's really controlling the Xel'Naga watchtowers, because they're not that useful compared to the other Xel'Naga watchtowers, because they don't really give vision of the most important part of the map, which is the middle of the map. But this is a relatively small map, so that information is pretty critical, as we do see 1 observer is moving forward with the Stalkers and the sentries. And we're going to see an engagement, very good force fields there, but he really needs to completely block off those roaches, but you can't really block off roaches that are burrowing, and those roaches will retreat. Right now at the moment it's 1-0 upgrades versus 1-0 upgrades for both the roaches. Their missile attack, the second level upgrade for the Zerg player, DIMAGA, has gone down, and he's moving some drones over to his new base, so the income differential will be increased. And we see another engagement. If we can get some force fields over here, it might be good. No, actually, now is not such a good time to get force fields off because they're out in the open. And now he's moving back. 2 force fields go off, and ooh, 2 Stalkers actually get separated from the main army. And now the Roaches and the Hydras are pelting away at this units, and the missile attack has not yet finished, but he did lose quite a number of Stalkers there. Stalkers currently researching Blink. Blink, a great tool for micro, and these Roaches do burrow and regain their HP very quickly. And we see just an engagement of Stalker versus Roaches. The Hydras are in the bag, not really engaging that time. And now he wants to engage. I think both players are trying to get the other player out of position or microing something else. As DIMAGA enters the macro phase, he's actually getting a lot more Roaches as well as Hydras at the same time, whereas KiWiKaKi is focusing on the expansion that is being harassed by this one Zergling on the side and getting additional Stalkers. And the army now is 2-0 upgrade versus 1-1 upgrade. It's about even. I think there's a slight edge for the 2-0. Could be wrong, but in any event, this Stalker is slightly out of position. He might need an additional sentry to put up potentially the Guardian Shield, not as much as the Force Field, because they're about the same, I think, unless he can get them to choke right here if he falls back and fakes the Zerg into coming into his choke, and I think that's what he's trying to do. And these Roaches do burrow to regenerate their HP, and we do see an expansion coming up as long as one photon cannon, and they're going to engage out in the open. One Roach does go down to very nice micro, and I think the Hydralisks are thinking about engaging, and we do see additional upgrade coming up for DIMAGA, and I think KiWiKaKi is trying to lure him into the choke, and DIMAGA is not falling for it. He really wants to macro up, and we do see the army quite in favor of DIMAGA at the moment, almost 40 ahead. It was just 30 ahead. Now it's 40 army ahead. That is quite a different, substantial amount. And we do see 1-1 upgrades versus 2-0 upgrades currently, and we do see another battle, and they're still backing up. I think he really wants a force field, and he does force field about only a fourth or a fifth of the forces, and he does take it down relatively easily, and he's gonna Guardian Shield up, and now he's gonna engage fully while backing up. And this Observer is very good for KiWiKaKi, as it will allow him to see the Roaches, even though they're and we do see these Roaches regenerating HP extremely quickly. And right now the Stalkers are trying to get the hits off, and while some of the more injured Stalkers are blinking backwards, we do see a huge battle, and at the same time DIMAGA miraculously is macroing up while he's fighting. Very nice style from DIMAGA as what we would expect, and he's not really warping in addition. Now he's warping additional Stalkers. I think it might be too late because there were about 18 more units on the way for DIMAGA, whereas there was only about 6 or 9 units coming in for KiWiKaKi, and these Stalkers are awfully weak. Even though they are great in numbers, their HP is very low. A couple of hits from those Hydralisks, they will go down rather quickly. I think he hasn't really made anything from the robotics facilities besides observers. And additional reinforcements warping in the front, not the best place because they will allow your opponent, DIMAGA, to get free shots of them. You usually want to warp in your units unless there are Zealots into the back, because that will give them time to sort of get into reach. And the probes are actually getting into the fight as well. I think this is the last battle between KiWiKaKi and DIMAGA, and some Stalkers do blink back, hoping their shield will regenerate. But we do see now there is quite an army difference, 122 versus 59, a huge army difference, more than double. And KiWiKaKi is still not giving up. He's still gonna try to fight, and he's trying to back into the cannon, luring the units into the cannon, but I don't think it matters at this point because the Zerg is on 3 bases, whereas he has lost almost 1 full base worth of probes. So even though they're on the same number of bases, he doesn't have the same number of income. If we take a look at the income tab, it's about 1,000 to 500, almost double the income, and he probably can't keep up with the production facilities of the Zerg, and the Zerg will be able to take this, and KiWiKaKi does call it GG. Great game. Hope to see you guys at game number 7. Hope you guys enjoy that. Please subscribe if you like what you see. And this is ggurface, and always GG your games. If you don't want to GG your games, say GG your face. Later.